A Century of Spiritual Text, St. Theodoros the Great, number 4. If anyone whatsoever opposes us in the fulfillment of God's commandments, even if it is our father or mother, we ought to regard him with hatred and loathing, lest we be told, he who loves father or mother or anyone else whatsoever more than me is not worthy of me. Matthew 10:37. This instruction must have disturbed us greatly, and we certainly wondered if it was even in line with the teaching of the gospel. To look at someone with hatred and resentment seems like a violation of commandment of love. In the gospel, however, we find an even sharper statement. If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Luke 14:26. So how should we understand it? St. Theodoros the Great recalls these stern words to emphasize that there must be a certain decision and even a radicality in following Christ. Let's remember that the Apostle Peter and John, when they stood before the great council and responded to the ban on proclaiming Christ, whether it is right in the sight of God to listen to you rather than to God, you must judge. Acts 4:19. This decisiveness and obedience to the gospel commandments often leads us to a situation that causes a wave of resistance from those around us. We should not be surprised because the Savior warned us. Do you think that I have come to give peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. For henceforth in the house there will be 5 divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son and son against father, mother against daughter and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Luke 12:51-53. The division causes not only great pain in the heart, but also the question of how to fulfill the commandment to love one's neighbor. It is this thought that causes us to succumb to the temptation to find some compromise to gain peace by ignoring the gospel commandments. The teaching of the Saint Theodoros is intended precisely for the mentioned moments. We should listen to God more than people. Accepting the common division is not associated with rejecting those who caused it. They should have a special place in our prayers and should continue to be object of our love expressed in good works. But we must not allow them to become an obstacle for us to fulfill God's will in our life. God bless. St. Theodoros, intercede for us.